Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. Rich Tehrani here, coming to you from Interop 2012. Wow, almost forgot the year there. In Las Vegas, Nevada. On our program today is Matt Pehnke. He's a Senior Product Marketing Manager of Storage at Netgear. And Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
So, a natural question, since you're in charge of the storage side of the business, is what's new and exciting in storage these days?
Well, that's a great question, and certainly one that I'd love to speak to. You know, data is growing out of control, regardless of the size of the business, small business, big business. Everybody's carrying around their smartphone, everybody's carrying around their tablet. It's become so easy to generate data and share that data and manipulate that data that the guys back in the, running the back end, they don't have the flexibility to decide what to store, what not to store. They just have to back up all of it. And so they're really getting the squeeze, so to speak, in that there's this whole flood of data coming in, and they're being held responsible for making sure not only that it's backed up, but also that it's available should anything go wrong.
And that's including things like personal videos and personal photos and iTunes libraries and things like that, right?
I mean, that's the reality that we live in, is everybody, this whole idea of bring your own device. You hear that a lot in the industry right now, and when you bring your own device, it also means you're bringing along your own data. And so you do get kind of a commingling of the business side of things with the personal side. But at the end of the day, just a lot more data that needs to be stored.
So really, I mean, it's funny, the SMB is becoming in some cases the enterprises are becoming the cloud for the bring your own device situation that enterprises found themselves in.
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot. And from a Netgear standpoint, this whole idea of needing more storage, Netgear is actually, as of the Gartner released 2011 market share numbers just about a month ago. There's no vendor in the world that shipped more unified storage than Netgear. They're actually the market leader from a revenue standpoint. If you look at the sub 5K, sub 25K category, number one in both, and number one from total unit shipped. So we feel like there's a real opportunity for a company like Netgear to be providing fairly low cost, but also feature-rich storage for these companies that find their storage needs kind of growing out of control.
So low cost and feature-rich are probably two of the reasons why you're doing so well in the market. Are there any other reasons?
Well, we really, when we talk to customers about what their storage needs are, the three things that we hear most often: I need it to be reliable, I need it to be affordable, and I need it to be simple to use. There's a whole host of storage solutions out there from the big guys, the big IT solutions, the traditional, the EMCs and the NetApps of the world, but they don't necessarily match up with those three criteria: the reliable, affordable, and simple. They're certainly reliable, but the affordability can be a little bit difficult, especially when it comes to getting them installed, keeping up the certifications. And then from a simplicity standpoint, oftentimes you need to bring in consultants or bring in additional staff to manage some of this. And so that's really where we try to stand out from the crowd.
Really exciting. So in terms of this show, what kind of feedback have you been getting?
Yeah, it's been a good show for us. Now, Netgear is an entity. A lot of people know Netgear from the consumer side of things. They go and grab their router at Best Buy, and we obviously have a very healthy retail business. We also have a very healthy service provider business. That's contracts through AT&T, Comcast, and then the other third of the business is commercial, and that's really where we do the bulk of our sales on the storage side. Inside that commercial world, we have four products. Four lines: storage, switching, wireless, and also security. So I'm obviously here talking storage, but we're actually getting a lot more attention this week on the switching side of things, obviously being Interop and certainly Netgear's name on when it comes to the network infrastructure.
So how does the breadth of product line help you in terms of solving customer problems?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. It's a good one. And it actually dovetails quite nicely with the announcement we have made this week on the storage side, and that is the ReadyNAS surveillance network video recorder software. Now, IP surveillance is a big market. It's a growing market. There's a real transition, kind of from that analog camera world to IP. But in order to do that, you need a strong network backbone. You also need a lot of storage to take care of the images.
Ideally PoE.
It has to be PoE, exactly, if you're going to have the cameras functioning 24 hours a day. So Netgear, here's an example where now that we have the network video recording software that works right on the ReadyNAS, we offer the storage, we offer the switching, and we also now offer the network video recorder component. So for us, it becomes a message: just add cameras. We're compatible with all tier 1 brands, and so just add cameras, and the rest of it's taken care of from Netgear, because we really can provide the entire network right up to the edge.
Oh, that's great. So you really make it a lot easier for your customers to just get this thing,
We
get
try.
their security going, their IP security systems.
Yeah, and again, with this message of just add cameras, there's so many different types of cameras out there. We wanted customers to be able to choose best in breed cameras, but
Right.
know that the rest of the network is taken
So the
care of.
software is a flexible kind of software. Does it do things like send video clips and to email addresses, things like that?
All of
on
the
triggers?
advanced, exactly. All of the advanced features you would expect, you know, middle of the night, motion on a camera that you don't expect, immediately picks up, begins recording, shoots a text to your phone, wakes you up in the middle of the night and says, hey, somebody's in your store, and you know, based on the parameters you've set, nobody should be there right now.
We may be interested in doing a test of that in TMC, so we should talk about that after.
We would love to get that set up.
After that, because we've got some IP cameras, it may be worthwhile testing. You know, we've got software, and then try your software and see how it compares to what we have.
Well, our sweet spot really is the small and medium business, and we obviously having all of the whole solution come from one provider is a benefit to our customers, also a huge benefit to our reseller community. I mean, at the end of the day, they have a lot, they're managing a lot of SKUs, they're managing a lot of customer needs. The easier it is to go to their customers with one simple solution, one simple message, you know, the better it is for everyone.
Do you go to those resellers through distribution or direct?
Through distribution, 100% for Netgear. A little bit available on the e-com side. As I say, we do leverage the lessons that we've learned through the retail business that we've been very successful in. But when it comes to the commercial side of things, and especially the ready-now storage business, we're almost 100% channel driven. And on the storage side, now I mentioned the surveillance piece runs on all of our ready-NAS boxes. I'm sure you're familiar with our line, but we offer everything from kind of your basic 2-bay desktop storage device all the way up to 12-bay, 36 terabyte capacity rack mount storage. And a lot of people aren't aware that Netgear has been so successful in that higher end space.
Sure.
You know.
So it's worth asking. I mean, you've got an interesting competitive set. You've got companies like Cisco, Linksys, and a few others. How do you I should say delink, right?
Well, it depends, and I know we've covered a lot of ground today, from switching to surveillance to storage,
Yeah, and
with different sets
that's
of.
true. It's not fair to say that because you're not really covering those. To the extent that you could talk about those types of competitors, what can you tell us? Like, why would we choose? Why would someone watching here, a small business or a reseller, trying to figure out if they should carry your line or sell your line over another line, why would they want to work with you?
It's a really fair question, and you know, at the end of the day, it really comes down to this idea of being reliable, affordable, and simple. We really want to, we produce products that are very easy for small businesses to understand, to implement, be able to afford, and also make sure that they are scalable so that they can grow their infrastructure along with their business. The big IT players, they make great products. It's not always the easiest to even get a hold of those products or to maintain over time. And so we really, in everything that we do, every product we introduce, we ask those three questions. Is it reliable? Is it affordable? Is it simple? And we try to really bring enterprise class features at an SMB price. And that's kind of where we sit in the industry.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Matt, great job.
Good. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
All right. Oh, I guess you're going to want